Dr. Adiba dah ready?
InsyaAllah. Boleh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Huda binti Budi, your MC for tonight Money Matters program. Before we start, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our speaker of honor, Dr. Adiba Alawiyah binti Osman, our Mahala Umama principal, Madam Nur Asia Aling, our advisor of Hisbah Asma Abu Bakar, Madam Nur Farah Shazwani binti Ismail, all the fellows and CFS IIUM students that joined us through Zoom and YouTube Live. To begin our program tonight, with the blessing of Allah, I would like to invite Brother Shahir Khairin bin Saadon to lead the recitation of the dua. Please welcome.
للنبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه الكرام الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مباركا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا مباركا معصوما ولا تجعل اللهم فينا ولا معنا شقيا ولا مرحوما. ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير. اللهم طول أعمارنا وصحح أجسادنا وثبت إيماننا ووسع أرزاقنا وحسن أخلاقنا ونور قلوبنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اجعلنا من أهل الخير واجعلنا من أهل البركة واجعلنا من أهل المغفرة. اللهم اجعلنا من أهل الجنة واجعلنا من أهل الفردوس الأعلى برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اجعل مجلسنا هذا مجلسا مباركا لأصحابنا وأهلنا وجيراننا وضيوفنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب القبور وقنا عذاب المحشر. وصلى الله على حق سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Brother Shahir, for the dua recitation. May our program tonight run smoothly and get blessed by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Lecturers and students, before we start our program, let me introduce our speaker for tonight's program. Her given name is Adiba Alawiyah binti Osman, born in Kuantan, Pahang, to parents who both a teacher and a soldier. Despite not starting out as an excellent student, she continued to pursue her dream becoming an academician. Since child, she enjoys in writing. Even she has her own essay published in school magazine and Berita Harian newspaper. During her studies, she has been awarded the Rector Award of a Bachelor Degrees in Economics in the International Islamic University of Malaysia, along with a CGPA of a 3.508. She also achieved a first class a master degree in a business administration with a degree point average of a 3.77 from University Malaysia Kelantan. Additionally, she also has been awarded the Graduate On-Time Award at a University Malaysia Kelantan in recognition of successfully completing his doctoral studies in just 3 years. After studies, Dr. Adiba started her career as a finance executive at a company. Then, in 2018, she changed her career as a part-time lecturer at the University Malaysia Kelantan. Other than that, on March 1st, 2020 until 2021, she works as a lecturer at the University Technology Mara Kelantan, teaching in subject Introduction to Corporate Finance and Islamic Economics. Lastly, in 2019 until now, she works as a profit service provider at the same time as a senior lecturer at the University Technology Mara Selangor, teaching in Islamic finance, sukuk, and Islam theology. Without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Adiba. The honor is yours.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me share the screen first. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma anta rabbi la ilaha illa anta khalaqtani wa ana abduka wa ana ala ahdika wa adika mastata'tu a'udzu bika min syarri ma sana'tu wa abu'u laka bi ni'matika alayya wa abu'u bi dhanbi faghfir li fa innahu la yaghfiru dhunuba illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, the most gracious, the most merciful. Oh Allah, you are our Lord. We are grateful for everything that you provide us. We acknowledge your favor upon us and we acknowledge our sins. Ya Allah, forgives all of our sins, the sins of our parents, the sins of our family, the sins of our teacher, the sins of ulama and as-salihin, and also forgive the sins of all Muslimin and Muslimat. Ya Allah, Ya Mujib, the one who responds to the requests of those who ask. We ask for your blessings over our event tonight, money makers, and provide us ilman nafi'an, the most beneficial knowledge through this session. Ya Allah, Ya Basir, all seeing, Ya Alim, all knowing, Ya Wadud, the loving one, is the way for us to gain lesson as part to be good Muslim practitioner. Ya Allah, unite our entire lineage in Jannah al-Firdaus. Allahumma aftah alayna, hikmataka wa anshur alayna, min khazain rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah. وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربي ذات عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Okay, thank you to the host for today, Nurul Huda. My appreciation goes to the respectable principal of the Mahalah Umamah, Nur Asyah Aling, to the respectable fellows, include lead fellow of Hizbah Asma, Nur Farah Shazwani Ismail, the organizing committees of this event of Hizbah Asma, which led by the program manager, Sadatun Nisha Mardia, the CFS IUM students, my UITM students, and to all my lovely audience, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I hope that there will be some of my students from UITM join us tonight. Okay, so hence inshallah for today, we're going to have a talk, okay, regarding money matters and to be specifically the financial planning, the awareness of financial planning for students, okay. And of course, life is not all about money, but money does matter. Even during the prophet times, money is very, very essential to plan for da'wah and to carry out the Islamic civilizations. Even some of several companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which include Abdul Rahman bin Auf, which I believe all of you already know about the history of Abdul Rahman bin Auf, Sayyidina Usman bin Affan, and many other companions. Okay, so in fact, financial planning is actually part of Islamic administration, and I am in purpose taking it out Islamic in front of financial planning there, the topic, because I believe at IUM, they will provide you, they will implement you, which all of the subject, which all of the syllabus must be aligned and look from an Islamic point of view, so that It's the specialty of IUM that you can't find at any other university. So you must be very proud to be UIA students. Okay, that's first. And then from that Islamic point of view, it actually builds your firm stand on whatever that you have learned and subsequently become the determination of your life. Okay. So this is actually the phase for you. Okay. The age of you, the phase of you to learn basic and implement it in your life. So this knowledge about the basic of financial planning is actually when you practice at present, it's become part of you and it becomes your routines. And meanwhile, subsequently, it will simultaneously patterns your future life. Okay, so whatever you learn here, make sure that you actually implement it and it becomes your routine. Okay, and we hope so that all of you will gain some knowledge through this session. Okay, so let's look into some details regarding the money matrix. Okay. Okay. I hope that you could see the video and the slide moving. Okay. You all could see, isn't it? This is the slide introduction. Okay. So basically here the financial planning, okay, means to conduct a proper and comprehensive money evaluation ahead of practical usage and needs. Means here you plan it first, you budgeting it first before you actually use it. Okay, so when you plan, you need to make sure that you act according to what you have planned. Okay, simple as that. So the goal of our session is to turn chaos into the clarity. Why? Because before maybe you do not plan it and you are abruptly spend your money. Okay, but then now you have the knowledge, you have the skills, so you use your skills to actually plan your financial well. Okay, even though it is in a small budget, but then you need to plan. That's why when you start this phase, you can actually try to plan for it and then you could act according to what you have planned. Okay, so you need to take your responsibility for your financial planning. Of course, you need to take responsibility over whatever money that you have. Okay, even it is a small money, even your allowance, for example, 300. So you need to take responsibility over that amount of money and ensuring your goals are achieved. So when you plan it, you are actually also planning for your aim, for your goals. So if your goals to be a very good spending, a very good spending behavior, you want to practice a very good spending behavior, so you can actually implement it by implement the basics. Okay, so let's look into the start of video for the sessions. Okay, it is actually a very simple video and we're going to discuss what is actually the content of this video.
There was once a hen named Melissa Brown. She wanted to be the prettiest chicken in town. She had no money, just 2 legs, and a body that could daily lay some eggs. One day, she met Rosie, who had pink feathers, and realized her own brown feathers were in tatters. She decided then to look like Rosie, whose pink feathers looked so new and snazzy. Where did you get your feathers painted? Over there, where 3 boys waited. The first boy had a cup of pink ink. Give me an egg, I'll paint 1 feather pink. The second boy had nothing in hand. Give me an egg and I'll tell you my plan. The third boy had a pail of pink ink. Give me an egg, I'll paint 10 feathers pink. Melissa stared at her 3 choices, and in her head, kind of heard these voices. The first one's too expensive, you can't afford it. The second one's too cheap, something fishy about it. The third one seems to be the best of the lot. That's what you should get. Give it all you've got. Oh boy, Melissa told the third boy. I want to be pink. Give me your ink. You seem to have 1,000 feathers, so that's 100 eggs to paint your feathers. On top of that, there's a service fee. So 100 more eggs for service from me. What? Said Melissa, horrified. You didn't say that. You mean you lied? It's not a lie, it's service charge. Ask them too. They'll all charge you. I don't have 200 now, but I want pink feathers, so tell me how. You can get a credit line and pay slowly over time. Melissa agreed and signed in ink and instantly got her feathers pink. And now in debt, she laid eggs for the boy. For 200 days, she had no joy. The next time she saw Rosie again, Rosie's feathers were green. That hen was vain. How do you afford it? Asked Melissa in despair. I waited for a promotion. Why spend so much on hair? As Rosie strutted off, Melissa learned how money should be spent wisely and not burnt.
Okay, that's a very good video. It has a very deep actually meaning behind it. So do you want to try? What does the video is actually try to tell you? Does anyone, one of you want to try? What is it the video about? Because it's a very simple video about spending. It's based on choices that you make. Okay, anyone want to try? Maybe some communities, few more of them. You may try. What is the video trying to tell you? The lessons behind the video. At least a point. Okay. The video tells you how to plan in order to make choices. And you could take actually the lessons at the end of the video. Okay, when the video is actually telling you about the hand, then make the choices based on its aim. When the hand has the aims to become a beauty, it means in a pink color hand, and the choices that they make to it makes to make sure that the hand, the feather on its body, will be turned into pink. But then, do you think it is all about the choices? Okay, the translation that the hand, the Melissa need to choose. No, this actually the aim is wrong to start with. Okay, so the most important thing here is that you need to fix your aim, which even from the start, you already create cause of it. So means when you have the wrong aim and you make choices, then of course you already start with cause of it. So when you actually need to choose, then you will take a wrong step ahead after that. Okay, so as according to Riwayah At-Tabarani, niyatul mu'minun khairun min amalih. The intention or the niyah of a mu'min is better than his deeds. Okay, so when you actually purify back your aim, you need to make sure that you have actually your real aim. Okay, you need to have the right aim so that you can further up to actually achieve your aim. Okay, so to that a mu'min, a person need to know what is the basis of the planning. Okay, this is an effort that I'm talking about. Okay, this is the step that you need to do in order for you to achieve your real aim. Okay, so a pure seed make a good tree. So pure seed here means real aim. So you need to look back to define behind your aim and how do you actually sow it. So we are going to look into the basic surah that actually define what is the financial planning is all about. Okay. So we'll look into the Surah Yusuf, verse 47 until 49. Okay, I'm going to okay, to actually here. Okay, I'm going to look into the translation, verses of 47 until 49 here. Okay, the translation of 47. For 7 years shall you diligently sow as is you want, and the harvest that you reap, you shall leave them in the year as a little in which you shall eat. Means when you want to aim for something, you put an effort into it. Okay, so there are many things actually behind these verses. So we're going to look into the general concept behind these verses as related to the financial planning, as well as what is the decoding secret behind this surah. Okay, so and the 48 translation mentioned that then will come after that period 7 grateful years, which will bevel you shall have played by in advance for them, except a little which you shall have specially guarded. So when you put an effort into it, you make sure that you are not only try to aim for profitable. Okay, you need to be balanced about it. You need to save. You need to save for it. So then will come after that a period, a year in which the people will have abundant water in which they will press wine in. Okay, so there is an emergency things will happen, then you will use your saving out of it. Okay, so the Quranic verses highlight the importance of financial planning through key points of the need to do preparation by putting effort to achieve something, of course. Okay, you need to do preparations, you need to put an effort. And this basic financial planning is an effort for you to do before you could achieve your aim. For example, if you have this budget for your financial, then your aim is to make sure that you have enough money at the end of the month. Okay, so the need to spend wisely on the wealth, and yes, this is according to the budget that you took, that you make. Okay, you need to make sure that you are actually act according to the budget that you have made. So the need to save for emergency, this is the most important one. Okay, you are always didn't know you will always face into the uncertainty conditions. So there are emergency that might involve into your student's life. For example, when you want to buy the textbook, okay, there are some subject that you do not need textbook, but there are some subject you totally need textbook because you need to actually write on it or something. Okay, so this is why you need to save for emergency. There are many circumstances that might urgent you to jump in to make sure that you could actually use your money for these purposes. Okay, so this financial planning is also part of ibadah. It is part of ibadah. It is an effort for you to be a good Muslim practitioner, especially for the Islamic financial planner. So in which a Muslim must be prepared with skills and knowledge in order to ensure the financial matters are in order. Okay, basically this surah Yusuf, verse 47, 49. Okay, this is a very interesting surah. Okay, there are thousands of translation, there are thousands of meanings behind these verses. And this verses is the taqwil of a dream by Prophet Yusuf regarding the dream possessed by the king at the time. Okay, when Yusuf is a prisoner, there are some happens with the other prisoners there, and they actually take he actually show his talent, which is in actually taqwil the dream. And the verses also provide the secret of decoding of a business sustain and investment. So let's look into what is the secret is. The secret here means if the business or investment is sustained and performed throughout 7 years times, inshallah, then it will maintain its stability throughout years to come. But it must be through something. It will be through an effort which have a proper and organized financial planning. So that's actually what we're going to take. But there are many more decoding codes behind this Surah Yusuf. Then we're going to go through that. Okay, through the next slide. Okay. So basically, this is the recent statistic in Malaysia. Okay, the recent years, in the period of 2019 to 2021. Okay, this is actually roughly a statistic that I have taken from your journal, but then this is roughly taken. So maybe it can't represent the whole youth populations. Okay, but then it gives us a little bit hint what actually happened to youth spending behavior. Okay, what are the most things that are favor and spending most, and of course, what is the inflation factor that could affect their spending behavior. Okay, so the first one will be the students' attitude and financial behavior among Malaysian youth. Okay, happened at Klang Valley, okay, in Kuala Lumpur. So more than 42.4% respondents have spent around 2,001 to 500 per month. It actually represents the students at your age. Okay, in which you have the amount allowance money from 200 to 500 per month, roughly. Okay, maybe 200 from the allowance and 200 from your support, from the support from your parents. Okay, but 53% agree that they have acknowledged that saving is a must. Means more than half acknowledge that the saving is must, because we have the knowledge even from the primary and secondary school that actually the basic knowledge that you have, but then yet not doing the saving. You know the knowledge, but you are not practicing it. Okay, so this is the study by the Klang Valley by Rosley 2019, and that the student spending pattern on non-academic items to food and beverage lead to poor financial management. It's actually in the topic itself, the result. Okay, most of the respondents spend money on food and beverages. Okay, means the students at your age, it is between the age of 18 to 23, I believe, and the most students or the young among your group age, they spend more on the food beverages. Okay, you can relate to that because this is actually at the phase when you start to know about the outside world. Means you from the secondary school, then you turn into someone like a bit freedoms. You have the money, so you want to spend on whatever you want to eat. Okay, so this is not the phase that you are actually consider more on appearance. Okay, maybe some of you consider more on appearances, but then you are actually most of them will favor more to spend on the food and beverage, the snacks. Okay, so okay, the spending habit of university students. This is your ITM. Okay, your ITM, the study on your ITM students. The food buying factors will identify food again. Were identified as the predictors of the most influential factor in spending among students. Still, food number one. Okay, students and money management behavior of a Malaysian public university. Okay, this is more towards most critical analysis, which is the influential factor that affect your spending behavior. If you are actually spending more on the food at your first phase of age, when you know the outside world, you spend more on the food. So what actually the factor for you that made you spend more on food? It is a parental factor. Okay, here you can see that the parents socialize. Okay, that is the most factor that influence you to spend more on food. It means your parents spend on food, and then you also spend on food. Okay, so the money, attitude, social demographic factors as determinants of university student spending behavior in Malaysia. I believe that it also include your ITM. How is the most influential factor of money attitude to spending behavior? There are many other factors under the money attitude. Okay, so one of it will be power, and the power is the most influential factor because you want to look great. Okay, maybe at this time you are consider yourself to be more pleasant, more appearance, good appearance, to show good appearances towards your friends. So age is the most influential factor of social demographic twist. Yes, age is the most influential. That's why I'm talking about your face, your age. Okay, what is your spending behavior at your age? So here, this is the recent study. This is done by UIA students as well. I believe from Faculty of Finance, financial awareness among IIM students. So the means allowance of monthly allowance among students is less than 300. Okay, based on the study, the average, the most of it will be 300 per month. Okay, it is actually aligned with your allowance money, which is 300 ringgit. So the monthly spending of female students is greater than male students. And of course, female students, they have more lust to actually to fulfill their desire. They have more desire to do. So that's why they are spending more. You can relate to that, of course. The female students do shop online more than male students. Okay. Okay, of course, female students also lead to have more spending behavior. They have more planners actually to use for their money rather than a male. Okay. But I believe the allowance is the same one, but the way that female spending might be more influenced, okay, because of the gender. Okay, and 90% of IAM students practice saving. Okay, this is good. Means almost more than half, almost reach a percentage that IUI students perform saving. I do not know that if it actually could represent all of IIM students, but it is actually the study among the degree students there at Gombak. Okay, include many other faculties as well, many other faculty students. Okay, the samples actually distribute among the faculty students, but the sample only for 60 students. So I'm not sure if it could actually represent the whole IIM students. But then this is actually give you a hint that how much allowance that you could actually put as your money that you have, okay, per month, and a few expenses and also list that for you that you might need to know before you can actually plan for it. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so let's construct it together. This is very simple, but the most important thing here. Okay, so you need to do your individual statement. Try it. Everybody try to construct it right away. Okay, pull out your pen, pull out your paper, construct it together. Okay, construct it based on this table, the components, the budget, and the actual cash flow. Means here you plan it first before you actually use it. So when you actually use it, you try to compare, okay, the amount of it with the budget amount. Okay, so you can see how much the differences. Okay, here the components. The first one include the total monthly, which is 500. Okay, I put the 500 because that will be the highest minimum that we'll have per month. Okay, maybe few of you more than this, and maybe few of you less than this. Okay, but I took the 500. Okay, assuming 500 left monthly savings. Okay, so there are two savings here. So what are the differences? Saving, the first savings here, you are going to save it for fixed. You are not going to touch it, except if it is very, very important to you. So you are seldomly or hardly to touch this fixed saving. Okay, so you can put whatever, maybe 5 ringgit per month. Okay, because you do not want to touch, you want to ignore about it. Okay, so let's saving for emergency funds. Okay, so the saving for emergency fund, this is somewhat an optional for you. Okay, maybe you want to put a little bit higher on this because you might be used again in the same month because you do not have enough money to buy food, for example. Okay, so you are going to use it not oftenly, but then it is something that you easily take in. Okay, so monthly income net will be 500, your allowance. You need to minus by this fixed saving and minus by the saving for emergency fund. Okay, it's okay if you miss about this individual statement. I already shared it to the organizing committee, and the organizing committee will be maybe share to all of you. Okay, maybe you could share it through the chat box, actually, the slide. Okay, if anyone missed about this individual statement. Okay, so the left total monthly fixed expenses, or the fixed expenses, I put here 50 ringgit. Okay, maybe this is the highest amount for you. When you plan for top up, okay, your prepaid, okay, so this is actually the fixed expenses for students, right? It will be much higher for present at present, okay, because you need to consume a lot of bandwidth time, okay, to go through ODL study. Less total monthly variable expenses, okay, it can be food, it can be toiletries, okay, it can be makeup, accessories, okay, and less total monthly discretionary expenses. This is you hardly consume, which is like you buying the badminton racket. Okay, this is more to sport activities, the recreation, entertainment. You hardly use it, but you need to use it. Okay, maybe jersey. Okay, so you need to minus all of these expenses. Okay, these three expenses from this monthly income that you already minus it before deduct by the savings and emergency funds. So you could get here excess. So this example, you get an excess amount of 70 ringgit. Okay, so this 70 ringgit, okay, is actually when you have this excess, you can actually have the alternative, have the options, have the choice to actually put the 70 ringgit into the fixed saving or the saving for emergency fund. I would prefer for you to actually put it on emergency funds, okay, because this is quite high sum of money, okay. So when you need to use the 70 ringgit, of course, when you have the balance, that will be natural for us. We will use it back. Okay, so the 70 ringgit, you can put it back on the saving for emergency fund. Okay, so when you actually perform the transactions from, you look into the budget and you actually use it. Okay, when you actually use it, so I'll leave it empty because this is what we will actually do. Okay, so based on this 500, what you actually do that month. Okay, so when you see the last amount, the end amount of it, excess deficit, okay, you can compare. If it is excess, even it is for 5 ringgit excess, means you actually achieve what you plan to do. You already achieved your aim. Okay, for you to be a very good you will be a very good spending. You have good spending in your something that you actually look and align towards your budget. Okay, so but then if you have a deficit, so this is something that you need to try, narrow the gap. Okay, so as long as you have access, it will be good for you. Your financial flow will be good for you. Okay, so this is an individual statement. Is there anything that you want to ask regarding this individual statement? No? Nothing to ask? I believe nothing. Okay.
Assalamualaikum, Doctor.
Yeah, waalaikumsalam.
Okay, just to get further clarification about monthly fixed expenses and monthly variable expenses. What's the difference between the two?
Okay, the fixed that you need to spend on it no matter what per month. This is your fixed expenses. Okay, means when you actually buying a top up, it is actually fixed, isn't it? For per month, you need to spend this 50 ringgit, for example, for your top up. This is for students. Okay, this is an example for students. Okay, but then for variable expenses, this is something that maybe you spend 50 ringgit for this month, but then the next month you might spend about 30 ringgit. Maybe it will be like food expenses or the toiletries. If you have the shampoo, for example, this month, you are not actually buying next month's shampoo again if you have already the stock, right? So you might spend for it this month, and the next month you might not spend for it. Okay, so there's an option of spending here. So the fixed, this is something that we're going to spend every month, and the variable expenses, it is something that you might spend this month but not the next month. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. Very clear, Doctor. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, we look into the next slide. Okay, this is more like playing games. Okay, I want some of you or all of you to actually put your answer on the chat box or the comment through the YouTube. The choices for you to have. Okay. Okay. The choices. The first picture with regard to the handphone. Okay, this is more like your spending taste. Okay, your taste regarding your whatever brand that you choose. Okay, or maybe there are some other factors that might influence you to choose among these gadgets. Okay, the right photo will be Oppo brand, and my left hand photo will be iPhone. So my right one will be Oppo, my left one will be iPhone. Okay. So the Oppo will be represent the number one will represent Oppo phone, and number two will represent the iPhone phone. Okay. So could you actually put your answer on your chat box? I will look into your choices. This is only a game, so there is no right or wrong regarding the answer. It doesn't matter for you to choose Oppo or iPhone. Okay. Do not over judging. Okay, do not over judging for someone who actually choose iPhone or Oppo. Okay, there are reasons behind it. Okay, let's look into the chat box. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, everyone consider iPhone, I believe. Okay, 2, 1, 2. Okay. More answer. I want to look into the majority of it. Okay, up to this, I believe 2 is the majority. I believe you actually choose something that you will buy. Okay, you will buy, isn't it? So that's why almost all of you actually wear iPhone. Okay, so that's why you choose number 2. Oh, okay. A lot more that choose 1 here. Okay, balance. Okay, a few choose 1 and a few choose 2. Okay, so there's no actually there's no wrong regarding your choices. Okay, it can be Oppo, it can be iPhone. It will be based on your affordability. But the things that you need to know is that it will be come back to your aim. Okay, if you aim to use the gadget to actually fulfill your duties, your daily duties, so they both actually have the same features. Okay, but then when you look into the quality, when you look into the price, when you look into the durability, when you look into the easiness and something like that, so there are some features that that actually lead you to choose or favor on the Oppo phone or the iPhone. Okay, so it doesn't matter what is the choice that you make. Okay, the second game. Okay, this is the choice for the back. Okay, before we look into the brand, but this time we have the same brand. I'm not sure if you are favor on a handbag. Okay, I believe that some of my friends actually favor on a handbag. So maybe she knows what actually the the differences between this handbag. Both are Channel brand. Okay, so the my right handbag will be number 1, and my left one will be number 2. So put your answer on the chat box. I want to look whether you could actually recognize the differences between these two handbags. Both the same brand will be Channel. There's no fake original. Okay, there is no fake original. I believe both of it original. Okay. Okay, let's look into the chat. Okay, this is 9:15. 1 or 2. Right, number 1, and my left side will be number 2. Okay, 1, 2, 1. Okay, more answer. 1, 2, 2. Okay, 2. Okay, maybe some of the comments, is there any comments under the YouTube? Okay, I believe there are some comments under the YouTube, okay, regarding the choices, okay. A few of you might be choose number 1 and a few of you might be choose number 2, okay. The number 1 is only cost you about 50 ringgit only. But then the second one will cost you over 1 million ringgit. Okay, so that's the difference of it. Okay, the quality, maybe the further that they use. Okay, I'm not that favorable on the handbag, so I'm not sure about it. But this number 2, the left side of mine, costs you about 1 million ringgit compared to my right side, which is only cost you 50 ringgit. The same brand, but the totally different prices. Okay, so okay, this is something that you have taste as well. Okay, there are some factors that can influence you into choose number 1 or number 2. Okay, we're going to talk about the appearance later. Okay, the aim of appearances, the presence way, and the way maybe you choose to present other people by actually show the brand to other people, or maybe to show some quality, okay, some special editions products to your friends, an example. Okay, so the third one, okay, this is quite the controversial issues that happen. I'm not sure that you're alert about the recent issue regarding the watch, male watch. Okay, I'm not sure. Is there any male students also involved in this session? Could be male students also involved, right? So the choice will be Rolex versus Burush. My right side will be Burush number 1, and my left side will be Rolex. Okay, there is still no right or wrong regarding the answer. Okay, I just want to look into your taste. Okay, number 1 on my right side will be Burush, and my left side will be Rolex. Okay, let's look into the answer. Okay, 918. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, you will prefer Rolex. Okay. Rolex. My left side will be Rolex. Okay, you can actually okay, read the question for me from the YouTube. Please read the question for me from the YouTube.
Okay, madam. Okay, the first question, I say, what about if we become sales agent at the university age, just like sell food, like crunchies, are that thing benefit to us?
What again?
What about if we become sales agent at the university age, just like sell food, are that thing benefit to us?
Of course, if you want to be an entrepreneur, no matter what, you can actually sell anything that you want, okay? And if it is a part of experience, of course, it will be very beneficial experiences for you. Okay, when you actually involve in a business, that is the way of Sunnah. Okay, prophets also involved in entrepreneurship and in business. A lot of companies of prophets also involved in entrepreneurship. So it doesn't matter what product that you choose, should be, it must be aligned to the Sharia boundaries, okay? Must be halal product, of course. But then if it is, if you want to involve into entrepreneurship, so it will be much beneficial for you to actually go through it and gain experience about it. But one thing for sure, regarding the profit that you will put on a product, okay, you need to make sure, according to Mazhab Shafi'i, your profit should not be 1/3 of your capital prices, okay, means the raw prices, okay. I'm talking about the raw prices. I'm not talking about the selling prices. I'm talking about the raw prices. So if you want to put a profit, you make sure that it will not exceed 1/3, okay. So is there any more question?
Yes, I have one more question, man. Okay. Okay, it's a at current rate, based on your estimates, when will Malaysia surpass $1 trillion GDP mark, and how it will affect our nation economically? May I get your view on this?
Oh, you are very, very further thinker. Okay. I'm not sure what actually the plan of Malaysian economy regarding how to actually cope with this, especially when the pandemic outbreak. Okay, it affect a lot of economy, not just Malaysia, but also any other countries. Okay, but it might also a very good or opportunity to us an Asian country. We can actually through this. Okay, we have this platform of the fintech technology, the Bitcoin and so on. Okay, so when we actually use this as a very good opportunity to us to actually learn more and to make sure that we could actually increase our exchange rate. Okay, because and now we know that the currency exchange rates for us are much below than other countries. So we can't actually estimate the real time how we actually suppose on it. But when we actually took the opportunity to look over the opportunity of the Bitcoins, the fintech, for example, especially the sukuk, you know that the sukuk, the Islamic investment, provide a lot of profit to the Malaysian economy. Okay, provide a lot of money to Malaysian economy GDP. So this is one of our strengths. This is actually a good opportunity for the Malaysian, for example, not only Malaysian, but almost all Islamic countries to focus more on this opportunity to make sure that we could actually taking benefit and actually increase up our GDPs. Okay. There's a lot more opportunity for us to take, but then maybe the vaccine also. Okay, we do research on it. Okay, so this is also one of the opportunities that we could get. Okay, there's a lot of things to take into this matter, especially from an economic view. Okay, and how we as students contribute to that and improve our economic state. Thank you, Doctor. Very good. You could actually learn more regarding the technology, okay? And when you actually consume more, you also help the Malaysian economy, the local economy as well. Buying local product might be one of the way for you to actually improve it as well. And of course, you become an entrepreneur. Become an entrepreneur for local products. Means you are not only buying local products, but you also promote local products. That could be one of the way for you to do to improve the Malaysian economy, inshallah. Okay, is there more question?
I think that's all for now.
Okay, so okay, from time to time you can ask me any questions. Okay,
Okay.
this is the most important part. Okay, from whatever choices that you made before, the choices that you make, it is created by you yourself. Whatever you want to choose, whether it is Rolex, whether it is Buruj, it will be your choice. Okay, if the watch itself have the features to fulfill the persons to be on time, so you need to buy watch because you want to be on time. That's your real aim. I'm again mention about the real aim. Okay, because whatever you want to do, you need to make sure that you have boundaries of it. Sebab itulah Quran is a complete way of life. Quran provide everything for you. Okay, so it is actually your boundaries. If you target to be a very wise in spending, you need to know your real aim. Okay, so it is definitely not wrong to judge over your personality, your appearances. Okay, maybe you want to look present, so that's why you buy much more quality product because your effort. And the first reason you are afraid to buy it. Okay, so it doesn't matter. But you need to know that it is actually part of your aim, but to fulfill your needs. It is actually things that you buy, you want to fulfill your need to achieve your real aim. If your real aim to be good students, then be one. Buy the gadget because you want to make sure that you are focusing in the class. So make sure that it actually fulfills your duty as a student. It fulfills your duty as a needs to achieve the good grades. Okay, to achieve aim to be a good student. Okay, so your appearances will affect a lot of the way you spend. Of course, your appearances, your presence way will affect a lot on your spending habit. And of course, as a teenager, you always want yourself to be pleasant. So of course, you want to be pleasant, especially female students. You want to be pleasant. It's a good thing. Okay. And this is who you are for almost 5-10 years from now. But you can't blame your past. Okay. For example, if you want to buy very good things, you want to show off to people, you want to be pleasant, it's okay. But way of pleasant over the attitudes is not okay. Something wrong with regard to your aim. Okay, you need to look over that. You can't blame your past, but this is actually the time for you. This is the session for you to look back into your spending behavior, to look back into your aim, okay, to make sure that you have much proper planning on you to achieve your aim. So I also experienced a life of teenager. Okay, I know that you want to look pleasant at this time. I love to buy shoes. I love to buy blouse. Okay, at your age, okay, it is normal. You want to look great. That is the natural face of your age. Even that is now to be cleanliness, to be pleasant, but choose way of to be pleasant, which I'm saying just now. Over that is not right. Okay, it is not aim. It's a lust. It's a nafs. You need to differentiate both. Is it lust or a need? Okay. So how at present you are being given skills. Okay, now you are being given skills, knowledge, and start to do and work. It is an effort for you to look back for your aim. And if your aim as a student, maybe a little bit further, you aim to be a doctor. You aim to be a lecturer. You aim to be an economist. Maybe you aim to be ustazah, for example. Then be a good one. Okay. If you want to be a doctor, be an ethical Muslim doctor. Okay. Your real aim is that. Okay, so whatever that you buy now, make sure that it is part of you, only part of you, that could fulfill you, that could move your way to achieve the real aim of yours. Okay, so despite wanting to please, want to look pleasant in front of other people that do not might take you as an important person for them, so please Allah. Please Allah, and you get the blessing for your entire life, inshallah. So let's look into how to differentiate needs and wants. As I already mentioned to you, that the Quran already provide the way of life. Okay, so this is what we're going to discuss about. The first one, how to differentiate needs and wants, knowing what you are trying to achieve. Okay, again, your aim. Okay. By Surah As-Saf, verse 11, the translation, strive your utmost in the cause of Allah, okay, with your property and your persons. So means whatever you buy, you need to know that this is the strive of you. This is already part of you, okay, and that will be best for you if you buy new. Okay, spend in the way of Allah. Okay, spend in a way of Allah. So refrain from worldly desires. There are a lot of desires that we can't refrain about, but there are boundaries to put there. The Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 212, the life of this world is alluring. Okay, whatever Allah provided is a test. In this world, whatever Allah provides to us is all about a test. To those who reject faith and the scoff at those who believe. And the third one, act as a trustee. So whatever we learn, whatever we earn, whatever we get on this world, we need to act as a vicegerent of Allah. Okay, act as a trustee. By Surah Al-Hadid, verse 7, mentioned that spend out of the substance whereof Allah has made you trustees. Allah provide you everything. there are some choices regarding economy, your limited resources to fulfill unlimited wants. Okay? But then it's not true according to Islam. Allah provides you everything. It's also in the Quran mentioning to you that Allah provides you everything. But you need to make sure that you control your desire. How to control your desire? Through Iman. Okay, so this is why you need to know that why you are being created on this earth. The purpose, the real purpose of life is there. Okay, so okay, I want you to look one more video. Okay, regarding a very rich Muslim brother.
As you are born, the first hardship that you may face is where you were born. Subhanallah. You might say, how? And you might already know, you might have experienced it. What if you were born in a war zone? Was it your fault? No, it was Allah's test. That is evidence enough to prove that your maker decided to test you by making you be born in an area where it was going to be a war zone. Subhanallah. Your test. Hardship. You were born into hardship as soon as you were born. In fact, when you were conceived, you started hearing sounds. You started hearing sounds of bombing, sounds of shooting, sounds of people screaming and yelling. That is a test, wallahi. It is a powerful test. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for those in that type of a test. Those who are being tested from when they are in the wombs of their mothers. But there is a test that actually goes beyond that one. You know what it is? Worse than being born in a war zone is when Allah has chosen for you that you will be born into this world with some challenge in the form of disability. So you're born and you did not see from day one. That is a hardship. And Allah says that hardship is not only for you, but we want to give the opportunity to those around you to earn their paradise through serving you. Wow. So a person was born, they couldn't see. A child was born, cerebral palsy. A child was born perhaps without an organ. A child was born perhaps some form of deformity. The test is for the parents and for those around and the community and the philanthropists. The test is for them. Are you going to rise to the occasion? Are you going to help another of your kind? You've only got one more year to live. Let's see what you're going to do for this child that you witnessed and you saw. I remember a wealthy man, again I know him, but without names, was watching a television channel. And in Niger, he saw people, he saw a specific child eating the sand out of hunger. And this man was a multi-millionaire, perhaps into the billions. And he decided, I want to find out who this is, and I want to do something about these people. And wallahi, I'm not joking. He got hold of the channel. It was a Western channel. It was CNN. He got hold of whoever. He found out from his own people who are around him where that was. He got hold of people there. He found the exact location and he located the person. It took him a bit of time. He decided to build a school, to drill boreholes, to make roads, to do whatever he had to. I don't know about the roads, but I know he built a school and he gave them food and he taught them things and he did clothing for them and whatever else. He changed the whole community. And guess what? A few months later, he passed away of cancer. The same man. May Allah grant him Jannatul Firdaus. What prompted him to do this? He was flicking the channels. He was flicking the channels. He saw someone going through hardship. He felt it. He did not know them. He did not know who they were. He just knew they were human beings. They were suffering. This is a Muslim man. And he decided, I've got all the money in the world. What am I going to do? I've got all the money in the world. What am I going to do? Let me help these people. Later on, they found out that he did it for many, many communities. Subhanallah. That is how he spent his money. How have you spent your money? And we sit and we busy bad mouth the same people without even knowing the good they've done.
Okay. You can actually align it back from the Surah Yusuf that I have mentioned, okay, at the earlier slide, which it does not only mention about the way of investment, the way of business, okay, but it is a plan for one kingdom, okay. The farming, the harvesting, it is planned for one kingdom, and behind it is for welfare for all of the people, include the poor. So the best financial planning should include the planning for the poor. As also according to Surah Al-Baqarah verse 276, this is my favorite surah, my favorite verses. Yamhaqullahu riba wa yubri sadaqah. Okay, means here Allah prohibits riba or interest while Allah fertilizes the way of sadaqah. The decoding behind it, in which when you want to avoid yourself into entering something which is uncertainty trade, into something as extravagant trade, okay, something aggressive trade that you might uncertainty about it. So the way for you to block it is by you performing sadaqah. So the priority good for you to perform sadaqah will be among your relatives. So through that, I'm going to end my session, okay, by the quote of the video, how have you spent your money? Okay, so have a great day planning. So maybe I'm going to pass it again to the host for today, Nurul Huda, with regard to the Q&A session, I believe, if you have questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Adiba, for giving us such a beneficial knowledge to all of us. Hopefully, all the students will use the knowledge that we get wisely in the future. So before we continue, I would like to remind all the students, kindly fill the attendance link that has been given in the chat box and or at the YouTube comment section. Okay, so now our last agenda for tonight is a Q&A session. So we are open to any question that regarding to our topic tonight. So the student, you may write the question at the chat box or at the comment section. Or the student in the Zoom, you may open your mic and ask the question itself. So we will try our best for your question to get an answer.
Inshallah.
Yes, from Brother Faris.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I have a question for you. May I get your views on this particular topic? I would like to ask you to estimate when will Malaysia achieve the $1 trillion gross domestic product, because we want to achieve the negara maju, what we call the negara maju thing, right? So when yeah, I would like to ask you to give your perspective on that and how it affects us from the economical perspective, and if we achieve the benchmark, how it affects us as a nation, and what role do we play as students in achieving that benchmark, and what advice do you have for us to improve our economic state? Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, I believe it's actually quite the same one from the chat box Zoom before. Okay, if it is regarding the benchmark, okay, of the countries, Malaysian countries, for example, we already achieved all of the money that we target, okay, all of the benchmark that we target. So what we plan for the next, okay, and of course, one country, when they want to build a very good country, they need to actually also include the welfare of it. Okay? That's why there are a lot of subsidizations that provided by the government, okay, for the poor one, for the B40 level below, okay, with regard to how the government plan on providing them hand money to make sure that they actually could achieve not actually the life that they want, but somehow will help them. So when we actually have the benchmark, we already become a very developed country, for example, like what the government plan to do by 2030. So it is actually for sure, they need to include more on the subsidizations. They need to include more the welfare plan for all of the people. Okay, if it is a good country, means it should include all of the people at all levels, okay, no matter what. So this is balanced things that we want to talk about. Okay, but for you as a student, if you want to contribute into this, I have already given an example before. You could actually become an entrepreneur as well, along buying the local products. Okay, because a very developed country like China, for example. Okay, I'm not going to talk any good things about China, but then one thing that good about China is that they provide all of the locals that they cook. Okay, all of the things, even from Malaysia, a lot of the product we imported from the China. Okay, so they have their own local product, no matter what, even it is a duplicate one, which is not good things, but then they provide everything by themselves. So that's why we need to also to promote the local products. Okay, as long as that you can be an entrepreneur. So that's part of your students and as a choice for you. Okay, to actually also contribute to the national economy. Okay.
Doctor, I have a few more questions. Do you mind?
Yes.
And what about the equity of, what about our equity in the financial share? I think we are behind on that. We are just, I think, we are far away behind compared to other countries.
About share, equity. Okay, if it is about an investment, for example, if it is about investment, there are many fields involved. Okay, but one of it that we are actually much popular compared to other, which is regard to sukuk, which I already mentioned to you also. Is sukuk, we are actually at the first place in terms of investment. We're providing the product of sukuk there. And sukuk here means Islamic investment, in which include a very long-term project involved. Okay, it's also help the government project include the infrastructure for all of the societies. It includes under the finance that governed by the Islamic sukuk. Okay, so this is the one thing that we need to make sure that we develop more, we expand more compared to others. Maybe we are not good in terms of the field of maybe somewhat like tobacco, for example. Okay, but then we are good in sukuk, which is much better than before. So if you want to expand more, then look into more opportunity with regard to this type of investment, rather than focusing on the investment already powered by any other countries. Okay. Education.
Okay, the next question is, if we afford to buy something expensive, which lead to misunderstood by friends, how to manage that?
Okay, that's a very good question. Okay. And of course, if you, for example, you are the one who favor iPhone, for example, you like to buy iPhone, you like to use iPhone, no matter what you want, iPhone only. Okay, Mac software only. You didn't want to use Android, for example. So that is your choice, and you are effort to do that. And of course, you do that not because you are actually totally into iPhone, but then you think that by using iPhone, it's actually make your life much better. It actually smooth the way of your learning process. It become part of your learning process, but it is not about iPhone. Okay, it's not all about iPhone, but it is a part of it. Okay, and of course, please other people, it is very difficult to do. Please all of people, it's very difficult to do. Okay, Allah creates us for a purpose. Okay, and you are not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. Not everyone will like you, and that's okay too. Okay, and strive to please Allah, not the question. You'll never be good enough for people. Okay, so please Allah, you're getting the blessing for your entire life, inshallah. Okay. Next question.
Next, what if my plan totally differ from my actual usage?
Okay, this is regarding your individual statement again. Okay. If you actually budgeting, okay, one type of amount and the actual usage is totally far from your budget, maybe not oftenly happen. Sometimes it's happen. Okay, maybe because during that time you have some family difficulties, especially in terms of finances. So that's why you have this kind of problem. It doesn't matter if it is actually seldomly happen, but if it is quite happen, oftenly happen, then you need to look back into what have you spent. You need to change your spending behavior again. This is the time at your face, actually at early time or at early time. So you could actually changing back your spending patterns before it's too late. Okay. So the next question, I could actually see some of the questions in the chat box. Okay.
The next question is, how about we do not know how to define real aim for now?
Okay, it naturally happens. Okay, when I was a student before, the degree students, I have the ambitions to be lecturer before. But after my graduate, it turns out that I want to further my career. Okay, I want to choose the career path rather than continue my study. Okay, so I went for the interview as a banker. Okay, but then it is not compatible with me, so that's why I continue to study back. Okay, as a student. Okay, I learned a master, I learned PhD. It is naturally happen to teenagers, especially. You getting mixed up over things. Okay, even at this level, some of you might even dream to marry someone rather than choose a career path. Okay, it is actually normal. It's something that mix up. But then do not think too further. There's some of you that couldn't think too further. You cannot think what the career path look like, what you're going to be in the future. Okay, this is something that you can't actually imagine. And some of you couldn't even think about it right now. So do not think too further. Just think that something you could see the end. For example, this whole period of study, this study period, okay? You just aim to be an excellent student. So try your best to actually planning that, how to make sure that you could achieve the good grades. Do not just achieve good grades, you need to make sure that you are awareness and have those real understanding to be an excellent student. Okay, inshallah. Okay, more question.
Okay. Next question is how to prevent from buying things due to trend and viral stuff.
Okay. It's the same questions as before. Okay. You need to actually look back into your aim. Okay. And especially when you have the allowance. Okay, that's why it's very important for you to construct the individual statement. If you have the somewhat not right spending behavior. Okay, I'm not saying that it is wrong, but something not right with that. Okay, you need to look back into your spending behavior. You need to purify back your aim. Okay, if you are actually someone who over the trend it is okay, but you need to look back into your aim, purify back your aim. If you want to look, you want to follow the trend will be never finished. Okay, if you want to try to follow that, it will actually lead you into something that will disrupt you, that will actually diminish you back. So you need to look over the real aims, what you want to achieve and how you want to plan to achieve. It is not your aim if you want to be someone who the most trendier person. So what will you get at the next things? Next thing after you be the most trendy person, what is the next thing you want to be after you already reach that position? It is somewhat empty there. Okay, so you need to purify by your aim to make sure that you can follow the trend, but it must not actually affect you or intervene your real aim. It just be part of you. Okay, so if it is part of you, then try to change little by little, by make a boundaries to you. You need to look back into what you want to be actually. Okay, so you can actually refer back to the slide. What is the differentiation between the needs and wants? How to actually differentiate between the wants and the needs? Okay. Okay. Questions, sir?
It's my personal question. Boleh saya tanya dalam bahasa Melayu tak?
Boleh.
Okay. Boleh tak doktor bagi tips yang berkesan, yang memang cara yang paling berkesan untuk menabung? Kalau kita guna cara tu memang berkesan lah, memang kita akan terus menabung.
Okay. The first step is that you need to make sure that you are not touching the saving. And the saving you will be start at the very smallest amount that you could actually forward. Okay. Of course, kita semua sayang duit. Sebab kita students, kita amat sayang duit. Okay. We more tend to spend on food. For example, according to the study, if you have money you want to spend on books, for example, even notebooks, the materials study pen. Kalau kita masuk kedai buku pun, kita macam mana kita akan beli juga satu, tak kira pen pun. Okay, it's actually natural for us to do that. But then try to make sure that you forward your money a little bit. Kalau contohnya dalam bulan ni, you can forward about RM1. Okay, then the next month cuba untuk naikkan sikit-sikit. Jangan terus RM10. Then it will be very difficult for you to start. Okay, start with a very smallest amount. For example, RM1. Then RM1 you forward. And the next month, get a little bit higher, maybe RM2 or RM1.50, for example. Okay, so take a little steps to make sure that you have these habits in you.
Doctor, do you mind? As a continuation to Sister Nurhuda, right? And how do we use ASB, ASM, and other koperasi to maximize our savings and boost it in a certain way?
Okay, very good. This is an ASB question. Okay, ni agak bagus. Ni saham yang agak bagus. Okay. Before this, a lot of issues regarding the ASB, whether it is Islamic. So I left the issues behind. Okay, but ASB is very good for you to include into your saving element when you actually start out your career. Okay, bila you jadi pekerja, okay, you ada pencalonan and everything. Okay, ASB is a way of investment where you cannot touch it easily, like you putting your money at banks. Okay, even at tabung haji sekarang pun dah boleh connect dengan online banking, so you can take it out very easily. But then ASB is a one way of an investment where you put it in a fixed amount. Okay, when they subscribe into fixed amount, you can put it to just an amount that you want to target, maybe 1 million at the end of it. But then when you put the money in a ASB, you hardly to touch it because it is very hard to actually withdraw the money. You need to go to the post bank. You need to do it manually rather than do it online banking. Okay, so that is the beneficial of ASB. Okay, in a way of saving. Okay, very good question, guys.
Doctor, I have a question, if you mind. I have three.
3 questions. Okay, it's okay.
So my first question is regarding scholarships. You know, like Malaysian NGOs, companies, they like open up scholarship programs for students after SPM to graduate, right?
Yeah,
so like, yeah. So like looking at the trends for Malaysian society, where kids nowadays are like focusing on if they have like this stereotypical mentality, especially for the Excel students, like for SBP MRSMs, like they have the stereotypical mindset where if I don't get a scholarship, I cannot further my studies. And it has to be
scholarship.
A scholarship lah macam tu. Like even me myself pun I've been in that box for a while before I pursue my studies in IIUM. So my question regarding that situation is, what do you think of the current ways of Malaysia handling the scholarship program based on our pandemic? Like if you know dulu, the system works as if you scored and you make the minimum criteria, which you are layak to go forward as a candidate. But nowadays, people like taking advantage of the B40s, M40s and such. So these students who work their hell up to get those straight A classes and end up tak dapat pun nak jadi one of the candidate just because they are terlebih mampu. So what are your thoughts on that kind of system nowadays?
Yes, yes, this is a very good question. Even I am not come from a very maybe average background, okay. Then it's a good thing to brought out that matters in which there are a lot of excellent students that actually come from an average family and also above level of family, like they are from good family background in which they are average and higher level of status. But then most of the excellent students come from there because of the genetic. I'm not sure. Okay, there are some of the factors that could involve into some students to be an excellent students. Okay, but then somewhat the one who are actually much suitable to get those scholarships. And maybe few of them is come from a very good, a wealthier family. Okay, so they hardly get the opportunity to gain the scholarship. It happens to almost to all my surroundings. Okay, they come from a good background of family, very wealthy group of family, but then they are also excellent, but they never get the opportunity to actually close to those to actually fill in the form for scholarships. Okay, so it has actually happened. The government should also revise it back with regard to the conditions, but I believe the condition is not only regarding the level B40, but it includes under the little bit percentage. It is not all of candidates must be below the level of B40, okay, at the level of B40 and below, but then there are some percentage that provide to the status, the level of B40 and below, to have some qualifications to fill in the form and to have the opportunity to get the scholarship. But then it is not in a very high percentage, it's in a very small percentage. Even in MRSM also, they have the quota to take the students from B40 in a few percentage to make sure that they have the opportunity to get into those SBP schools. Okay, so one of the solution would be the government should be revised like that. Okay, if the percentage it doesn't clear to anyone, so it should be known as a clear things. To them, it is should be a very known and a clear information that provide to us, for example. And there are some scholars that should be focused on a athlete group with a very excellent background. Okay, and of course, it's a way of natural thinking. People who comes from a very wealthy groups, they are of course effort enough to actually provide everything for their sons, daughter, and so on. Okay, that is the natural things for them to think. But then there are some things that they need to reverse with regard to the scholarship, for example, to make sure that all of us have the opportunity. If you are excellent enough, then you will get the scholarship. But one thing for sure, if you are study only for the scholarship, then that will be very wrong. Okay, you need to make sure that you also look back into the aim of yours. Be an excellent student is very good. Okay, but be an excellent student because want that scholarship, that will be very disruptive. Okay, so that's something also we need to consider about. Okay, that's a very good question.
Yeah, my next question is, you know, like people always say the phrase where money can't buy happiness, right? Where there are a few debates on that, where people say money yeah, money can't buy you happiness, but money can buy you stuff that can make you happy. So indirectly, they're saying that money can buy you happiness. But I just want to, like clarify things to make my mind clear a bit, because it's been a while that I'm like gaduh with my thoughts about that. It's like can you share like opinions, because you're like a grown up person and we are all like 18 and we are not like literally financially exposed to this kind of stuff that much at school. So from your point of view as an adult and as a doctor, like what do you think about that statement that can relate to us? Either or not we should really focus on money and studying, or just we should focus on studying more rather than finding money? Because some of us maybe like cari part-time jobs and such. So.
Yeah, that's an issue that we actually discussed, okay, right away. Right now, with regard to the part-times, okay, part-time worker as a student as well. Okay, this is of course might affect your study, but then there is nothing that we could help, okay, because the students also have the financial problem and so on to actually pay out the fee, the school fee and so on. So it's that in my class, I'm always advice for students. It's not only me. I believe that all of the lecturers are also concerned about this. Okay, when the students perform the part-time work as well as become students, okay, it's hard for them to focus. Okay, even me, when I write an article, but then when I'm going to teach, then it is another thing. So I'm not going to, I cannot actually writing an article while teaching in a class, okay? Even though it is in the same field, but then it is something that very hard for me. So I believe working and study is a very way different, that you can't actually focus on one thing. If you focus on work and you feel good performing work because you get money through it, you could actually see the benefit of it. You need to think again. Okay, knowledge is something that provide you the life of experiences. It's a knowledge. Okay, it's not a work that provide you the life of experiences. So you need to think about that. Of course, life is not all about money, as I mentioned before, but money does matter. Of course, you want to learn, you become someone. At the same thing, you can earn a lot of money through it. Okay, and become a wealthy person doesn't mean that you are bad people. If you a wealthy person, sebab tu dalam hadis pun mention, the one who give is actually above than the one who receive. Okay, so that if you are among a wealthy persons, you actually could contribute more to the poor people. Okay, so this is the things that you need to learn. If you have a knowledge, then you have much way. I think you will have a millions way to think over how to get money through by knowledge. So that's why you need to think over. Okay, you need to think over your aim. Money, of course, matter. Okay, money, of course, matter. You want to buy food with money, of course, money matters. Okay, but the knowledge is providing you life of experiences that the money couldn't provide you that. Okay, your life as a student, you meet good friends, you meet bad friends. Even bad friends will actually give you a lot of experiences. Then you know this type of male or female you can't be close to because of their attitude that you could actually. This is also some part of life of experiences that you might experience as a student. So that's why you need to think of money important, then the study also important. When you study more, you learn more, you have million way to find money. Okay, so that's a good way to start with. Okay. Okay, next.
So my last question is, if for you, like, if you can turn back time and you go back to like when you're remaja ke whatnot, but you can't. So is there any advices that you can give us as students and who are currently like reaching adulthood one day? Like, what is the one advice that you really want to give us as one of your regrets yang you tak buat waktu your youth days?
Yeah, someone get fit. Okay, so best of fit. We need to trust the Qada and Qadar. This is also part of pillars of Iman. When we reach at this step, when we reach at this phase, okay, we want to look back at those experiences, whether it is good or whether it is bad. Okay, it actually defines who us now. If you can actually ask me that question, that means that your past is never wrong. You cannot blame your past because it actually made you a person that could ask me a question right now. Okay, it is a very good thing to look from the past. Okay, never blame your past. Never look at the past. Sayyidina Umar Al-Khattab is a very, very bad person. Okay, dia punya experiences. But then it make him a very good Khalifah. So that. Okay. You cannot blame other people. You cannot blame your past. But then you right now, you have the knowledge. You have your aim. It is something that you want to further. If you want to be a good person, you want to enter the Jannah. It is actually your real aim. You want to enter the Jannah. You need to stand for that. You want to enter the Jannah to make sure that whatever you did today, it is what you want to achieve in your future time. Okay. Do not blame your past. It is nothing that I want to regret about my past. Okay, my past that made who I am today. I am not good person at the past, but I am trying to be much better today. Okay, so do not regret over your past and make it as I experienced to you to be a very good person in the future. Okay, one step ahead. Okay, inshallah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Any more question?
Madam, my final question for Doctor. My final question for you.
Madam.
Sorry, Doctor.
Apa?
If you are the minister that holds the portfolio for our education, and you are trying to imply financial education in our syllabus, what would you include in the syllabus?
It is very important knowledge. Okay, for a minister, if you want to be a minister, very good minister, the most beneficial knowledge for you is a fiqh knowledge. It's a basis knowledge that you need to implement. Okay, whatever things, whatever syllabus, whatever that you learn now, it need to have a very strong basis so that it become your boundaries to actually not go further or not go beyond that boundaries. Okay, this life is very simple. It's actually, you do not need to go beyond than that. If you want to be a minister, then be a good minister. So how to be a good minister? Then you need to implement the basic knowledge of Islamic. If it is a syllabus of finance, it should be include the point of view of Islamic finance. If it is about the politics, it should be viewed from an Islamic political. It should have a very strong basis on that. Okay, so no matter what, you are within the boundaries. You are not actually go beyond than that. Okay, Islam provides you the most complete way of life. Do not think over of it. Everything already provided to you. Everything already provided to you. You just need to follow the way. Okay, and the way it is prescribed by the Quran, by the Hadith. Rasulullah Swatan Hasanah. Rasulullah is our good exemplary. So just look at him and be like him, inshallah. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
So I think that was the last question for our program today. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Adiba, for answering all the questions. Okay, so before we end our program, a friendly reminder to all of the students that participate, please kindly fill the attendance link and fill the evaluation form, and because the star point will be given if the participant complete the completion evaluation form. Okay, sorry for my bad grammar. So Alhamdulillah, we already arrived at the end of our program. Hopefully all the knowledge that we get will be used wisely in the future. So to all our students. So I would like to thank again to everyone. Thank you very much again. So we shall end our program tonight with the Surah Al-As and Tasbih Kifarah. And student in the Zoom, please wait for the photograph session.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك. بسم الله والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.